We're going to get started up here. First thing I want to do is just before we go on to the final part tonight, is I want to talk about the midterm. Today is February the 27th. This week is actually, I think, what they have targeted as midterm week. And so I don't think I'm going to have that ready for you this week, although I could. But I think next week is the break, right? And then the following week is the week of the 12th. Now, I heard some tears over here. Was that in response to what I was saying? I thought I heard someone weeping. Laughing? Okay, we're on another subject. All right. Is it acceptable to you? Is it acceptable to you to take the exam on your schedule the week of the 12th? Does that work for everybody? It's going to be in the Bible College office. You'll take it in the library. It is going to be an essay style exam, but I was telling Angina, probably a lot of the things you can just hit the points, but I want to make sure you have enough time. Is that okay with everybody? Does that mess up your lives? Okay. And I put up on the website already for the first 2 or 3 classes. And basically, I mean, you could write the exam for tonight. You know what I'm saying? It's like talk about information sharing in an organization, you know, and what did we talk about before that? Oh, and then talk about communication within an organization, right? You know, what points did we talk about? That's all I'm going to ask you to do. So it's not like I say multiple guesses or you know, give the 5 points of, but so you're kind of, and the reason I'm not doing it that way, I mean, I could reduce this class to an outline that you could memorize, but I don't think memorizing the outline, that might be helpful to you, but it might give you a false sense of like accomplishment, like I got this thing. It's more important to me that you have a thought process that you're able to ponder, think about, and just know some of the dynamics instead of just saying, oh, we talked about this, this, and this, you know, because it's hard to test you on this class, and I hate to say it, but just as a teacher, I don't care so much about grades. I just want you to be walking with God and thinking with God, but I know that you do care about grades, and it is an indicator of success. So just be going over this material. You do have to know it. That's the other side of it, is you got to know it, you know, like what did we talk about with information sharing tonight? You know, why are we gave 2 points right at the start. What's outside doesn't come in, what's inside doesn't go out, and then we talked about 5 or 6 different principles about how people misuse information in an organization, and some of it we spent some time on, right? So but you can explain that briefly, but you want to hit all those points. And then the other thing is, just so you know, I grade kind of, I don't know if it's actually a curve, but we got 17 people in this class. If no one gets the answer to a question, that question gets thrown out, okay? Because that's me being a bad teacher. It's not you being bad students. But if 5 people get a question and 7 don't, well, that question's going to count, you know, because it shows me that I did cover the material. So be helping each other. I don't know what else to tell you on that. Any more questions on the exam, midterm exam? Week of the 12th. You'll have, I hope I'm not giving you enough freedom that you can't handle, but you got the whole week to take it. So you're done by 17th would be the last I'd want you taking it. They will have it. If I get it there ahead of time, it's possible I would let you know, but I'm not sure I don't even know if the library's open. Yeah. Is that okay with you? Yeah, afternoon, evening. I would like you to do it in one sitting. It's going to be closed everything. You're going to walk in there with a pen in your head. Because I'm going to really, test you, there's like 21 lectures we've had, so in a sense it'll be, or 20, it might be 21 questions. But you just got to give me enough so I know you're thinking. That's the thing. You can't just, I don't know how else to say it. I'm not going to do a class on the 12th. Yeah. Yeah, I got to take a little bit I'm going to get a couple weeks off just to recharge my batteries. Yeah, you got the evening of the 12th. You got 3 hours the night of the 12th if you need time to do it. Yeah. So. Okay, now we're going to go to the final thing here. So I think we've covered some subjects. I want to talk tonight about team members and kind of what you're looking for in team members, both so you can, like I say, know what you're looking for, and also maybe be growing yourself as a team member. And so let's just briefly pray here, Lord. Just help us with this final 40 minutes, whatever it is, just to bring out some points that'll be edifying and helpful, and just give us some alertness, Lord. I know it's a long day for people, and just thank you that we can cast our cares on you. Amen. Okay. The way I think about it is that there's really three qualities, maybe a fourth, that you're looking for in a team member. But these would be like, no matter what the situation, you're going to want team members with these qualities. And they are as follows. The first one would be what I would call people that love to work. Okay. Number two, people that love to be together. And number three, for lack of a better way of saying it, people with no baggage. Okay. And by baggage, I mean like emotional baggage, and we'll develop that thought a little bit. And this first phrase I use, these are qualities of team members that you're looking for, you want to encourage, develop, foster, and certainly have in yourself as team members, which we all are. And the first thing I have down there, these are in no particular order, but these are people that just love to work. And normally in an organization, and this can vary. I mean, if you're in a volunteer organization, you're running a sports club out there or something, you may have someone on your team who's not like highly active, highly energized. They're more there for the fellowship. And, it's okay. I'm not saying those are bad people. You can't have them along. But you understand those are not the people that are going to make the thing go, and when the chips are down, are going to keep this thing cranking along. But you really want those people that just really love to work, and I could use the word have a work ethic, but I've kind of stayed away from that because work ethic can have a number of can mean different things to different people. And I like the word people that love to work in the sense that they really like it and enjoy doing this. And I think, most of us are like that. At times in our lives we're not. But these people are around, and there's people, the people that they wake up in the morning and they want to be doing things. They have it and they want to be busy for God. I don't know. I've said it three different ways. But not everybody is like that. And I'm not saying unfortunately, I'm just saying not everybody is like that. There's people with varying levels. They need to be motivated. They can be just by nature inactive or passive. And you put them on the team and you're going to end up, you can end up just sometimes not getting what you thought you were going to get. Now, if they can do anything effectively, thank God. I'm not saying throw them off the team, but again, what are you building the ministry on? What are you your missionary team, and you're just looking for these people. And there's people like this. I mean, I think I take someone like I could name anybody. I was talking about Lisa Lothborough. She worked for us in the cafe food service for some time. She just loves to work. I mean, Joyce Furl loves to work. You know what I'm saying? And we had some guys who worked for us in the cafe some years ago, and you go in there, and they were fellowshipping, and one day I walk in, the guy's holding the baby. It's like, what on earth is going on here? It's like, now of course we were paying this person. If it was volunteer, it might be a little bit different. So when you're paying someone, that changes things a little bit, or maybe a lot. But I would also, in that thought of someone who loves to work, I would also want to say that there is a bad kind of work ethic. And these people, it's not so much that they love to work and serve, but it's the reason that they work so hard is because they are out to prove something, okay? And that they've got something maybe in their self-image. They're judgmental of other people that don't work so hard. And I don't quite understand what that psyche is, but I think I've been in it at times in my life, maybe not. But work can almost be like self-destructive, and we have this, America, most of our society, we're very production-oriented. We value and kind of judge people on what they produce, like, Donald Trump, so-and-so is very successful. That means they make a lot of money. I don't know if that's a very good gauge of success. And, there's any number of people that they justify their existence because I work so hard, Men, they work hard all day. And I know different cultures can be different in this matter, but, I'm just going to say this because it's true. My dad was a great dad. I can guarantee you he didn't do housework. You know what I'm saying? He would work all week, and when he came home at 5 o'clock in the night, he didn't help my mom with housework. He didn't build our house. I mean, he worked hard, but at certain types of things. And to be honest with you, I'm very similar. There's not a whole lot of housework I do. Like last weekend, I built my wife a set of shelves for some storage, but that's a different type. It's like a different type of work. But what I'm talking about is that people that, okay, I worked all day, therefore I am justified as an individual. And that is almost like a sick thinking. You know what I'm saying? It's like the Bible talks about rest. Come unto me, all you labor and are heavy laden, I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, learn of me, you'll find rest for your souls. A brother told me years ago, someone who likes to work is sick. And that's a good statement, depending on how you take it. You know what I'm saying? If you are working your way to some sort of success or justification, and unfortunately, you can get people in the church who bring wrong concepts of work into the church. They're on your team and they're out there killing themselves. And that's really a very good word, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? They're working to their own destruction, and they're building up in themselves some sort of resentment towards you as the team leader because you don't appreciate how hard they're working, towards other people around them because you're not recognizing how hard they work compared to them. And I'm just saying we got to watch for that. So when people that love to work, don't be fooled that you can look at someone from a distance and think, oh my gosh, that person is an amazing worker, but they might not be exactly what you think they are, and they might not, it might just, like I say, just be a little bit careful with that. But given that, you got to find the people that are just happy and thrilled to be doing stuff, Paul Nye just loves what he does. You know what I'm saying? He does it at home at night. Pirio, is amazing. You'll see her in the office at 5:30 because she loves it. This was just her calling. Calling and occupation and vocation come together. I never hear from Pirio about how hard she works because she probably doesn't even know. You know what I'm saying? And she just likes to do it. And these are the type of people. And people I have in my office are like amazing. Tootie George, just happy. Yulia, Debbie. It's like I just feel guilty sometimes when I leave because these guys are working so hard. But again, it's very positive, but it's also very, it can be a very serious thing because there is real work to be done in the ministry. You're right. You're out there on team somewhere. I mean, you're going to spend your life soul winning, knocking on doors, whatever that is, and that's what people are there to do with you. And someone may want to come over. It's like, you know what? I just don't think it's going to work with you on team life because this is how we live, and I don't want to be getting you out of bed in the morning because turn the lights on because you're a slow start. I can't be doing that as a team leader. It won't work for me, And again, I know there's a balance to that, but you know what I'm saying. So that's the first thought, is that people that love to work, these people are like amazing. And then second thing is, even though they love to work, they also love to be together, okay? And, you want people who, I don't know if I'm using the right words for this, but that just have this sense that, like, when the team is together, this is like amazing. We love being together. We love fellowshipping, not fellowshipping because of laziness, not fellowshipping because I'm trying to get out of doing the work of the ministry, but we just love being together. We are aware that when we come together, Christ is in our midst, and this is just like the most fun thing in the world. And I think you know what I'm talking about. Like, so you're out there blitzing for 2 hours or 5 hours, then you go meet at a Starbucks and people come. This is great. This is like awesome. We're here to build each other up in Christ. How did it go today? I got something for you. You got something for me. And again, not everybody is like this. I have enough. There's one specific venue that I operate in related to our church, and there's a team member that it's like a little bit troublesome, for me, just because of the way the interactions go, and it may just be a specific temperament you're working with, but I just wonder if the individual is just like struggling. You know what I'm saying? I think I very much appreciate you being here, and it's awesome. But have you ever had someone on a team and you build them up because they're so faithful and they work so hard, but even as you're saying it, yeah, this guy is awesome, thank God, there's like a little bit of a sick feeling in your stomach because you wonder if the person's even happy. Ever had that on a team, in team life? It's happened to me, and it can happen. I just wonder, do you want to pull the guy aside and say, hey, stop what you're doing, let's just talk about God, and are you okay, and are you happy, and how come you don't talk, and how come we don't have fun, Because it's like, you really have to have that. This work is like way too heavy. It's like what we are dealing with, in terms of heaven and hell, the saved, the unsaved. The attacks that come against us are just like, you don't just roll out of bed in the morning and survive that. It does not happen that way. And you can look at the church and look at what we do, and the staff is so happy. It's like, where does that come from? That is like on purpose. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to share this. I hope this isn't the right kind of. Oh, we talked about this. Here I go. Tell you, I'm going to let rip. Here it is, because we talked about this morning, but obviously it's on my mind. But we had the messages on joy last night in church, and then a guy that we pick up in Baltimore City, I gave him a ride home last night. Great guy, love him. But he said, I think that, that this church, that I don't hear enough messages. Like, I hear all these positive messages, but what about the sufferings of Christ? How you don't preach and talk about the sufferings of Christ? And I think he's reading one of these Watchman Nee books, which I think are great books, but talks about, the breaking of the outer man and going through suffering and so the life. And I'm just driving home with him. I said, well, listen, let me just tell you something. The second guy who preached tonight, Pastor Chabelle, he's preaching about joy, rejoicing. Just so you know, he was a missionary in Africa for many years. He got cerebral malaria, was in a hospital in East Africa, nearly died, and now as a result of that is blind in one eye and deaf in one of his ears, And the guy says, oh, geez, I didn't realize that, you know what I'm saying? And so it's almost like, I'm just responding to this because it's got me thinking when I get asked that question, but it's almost like, how come we don't preach more about the sufferings of Christ? It's because we live those sufferings every day, and we need to talk about the joy and the life that comes out of those sufferings, that, the life within that's bigger than those sufferings. That's how we live. And, do I suffer in the course of the day? I don't. I got a roof over my head. We eat well. My family is doing very well. But I'm not gonna, I'm not going to classify, like, because I have never been, no one's ever beat me up for sharing the gospel. I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to walk the life that God has given me, and I'm going to trust Him that He's bringing stuff into my life that is necessary, and bringing it back to this class. We want team members that love to be together with this secret that we're sharing between us, and depending on the venue you're in. I mean, when I hire for my office, it's like it's very much, I hope I say this the right way. God help me, and please help me with this, but it's like, don't get me in trouble. My daughter, I was out working on the back porch yesterday, building these shelves. My daughter was inside doing homework. She walks outside and says, "Dad, do you like me?" And I go, "Yes, I really do like you. I love you, but I also like you. I like being with you." And I don't even know if it's possible to love someone without liking them. I don't know how that goes, but I really do like you. I like to be with you, and I'm glad to be able to say that, And could I bring into my office and put someone next to me every day that was just a downer for me? I'm saying? I don't know if I can handle that. I don't know if I can do that. If God brought me a person and I knew it was from God, and like if God led me, I'm sorry, but I brought that enough. I don't know how that. I'm saying you learn and you work, and God puts you with people, and you overcome that, and you learn to love people and learn how to minister and how to interact. But it's like in terms of team members, that's like what overseas. Why would we recommend that you have someone on your team who's been through Bible college? Because that's, graduating Bible college doesn't guarantee you've learned this stuff, but it sure puts you on that road, and someone who's on a different page or doesn't know how this ministry interacts and tells jokes and drinks coffee and doesn't feel guilty about it, I was great, Pastor Shallow last night. I love food. I never heard anybody say that from the pulpit before. I was like, that's awesome, what I'm saying? That's like amazing, Is that okay? Is it okay to have fun? Or do we have to be like unhappy all the time to prove that we're going through the sufferings of Christ? So this is just like very, very important. And then the not the last thing I want to say, but the last of the three qualities we have up here is no baggage. And what I mean by that, and again, everybody has baggage. Baggage is a word we use for like things that can bother us emotionally, that we think about, that can weigh us down, that type of thing. But you really, we really, when we come together, it's like we want to, like if I have baggage, I want to deal with that on my knees before God in my prayer closet with my Bible open. That's how I want to be dealing with that stuff. My wife is not there to deal with my stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I am wrong as a man to think that I can just lay this on her, like this is her problem and she's going to like minister me out of it or take it or something. And it's ditto with my team. When I walk into a team meeting, it is not about Peter Taggart and how he's feeling. And like on a very practical level, folks who have worked, forget the church, but if you've ever worked for a small businesses grow till they start bumping in to the personality defects of the owner, who is so limited in his mind and his thinking that he refuses to see his own weaknesses, and that's as far as the business grows. He will not see his limitations, and then he starts blaming the people under him for why this thing isn't growing. And that is, how many people have ever seen that? I've seen it time and again, you know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing, in our team life. If I think that I'm going to walk into a team meeting as the leader or as a member, and it's the problem of these people that I have a bad self-image, and me working on the team is always going to be viewed through the prism of my bad self-image. And if someone asks me to do something different, it bothers me because I'm feeling bad about myself. It's like that stuff, that is baby stuff. I understand we all were babies, and in some ways we all are babies. But again, just how you're evaluating your personnel, if you take a person like that, and again, and I mean this seriously, not joking, you are going to be led by God. And everybody on the team has their limitations, but you're going to take a person like that and put them in charge of a ministry. It's like, how is that going to go? I don't know how it's going to go. Maybe you're better off not doing that ministry than putting this person in a place where they can affect many people with their stuff. You know what I'm saying? So these are all just decisions. There's no right or wrong answer. I'm just putting it on the table to help us. And this is, as leaders, it's really like it's, the job of the body and the leadership determines people's gifts, right? Now, I don't determine who's in the body. People show up and listen to my message, preaching. It's awesome. Welcome aboard. But when I'm going to put them, put them in my Sunday school program as, over kids or something, that's like a very important thing. I'm not saying we're afraid to do it, but you want to think about these qualities of people. I think that these qualities will, maybe not qualities you would think about, but they're qualities that if you're aware of them will serve you well in terms of, throughout the course of your life. And who you put on your team and what teams you join also. When I join this team, it's not like so much I got this great calling to West Africa, to Ghana or something, but in the specific place I'm in with the people I'm with, can I be effective there? I don't care about your calling to West Africa if you get there and you're ineffective. Like, what is that? How's that helping anybody? And just for Peter Taggart, I think about that with my own life, because we all are all open to what God might do in our lives. But what really, I don't mean it weighs on me heavily, but what I think about is like, I'm in a place right now where I believe I'm being effective. I'm saying my boss is happy with me. I'm not getting those vibes that things are not going well. Things are going well. For me to leave that, I wouldn't just do that. You know what I'm saying? Because, okay, so, the effect we're having right now with what we're doing, so I'm going to walk out of that into something else. Well, God would really have to move me. Now, if things start going badly and my boss is unhappy, I'm saying, okay, now God's speaking to me. You know what I mean? It's like, maybe it's time to make a change. And lots of times when things are going badly, we start fighting it, and get this next thing I'm saying. We start fighting it and we got to fix it and all this stuff. And God's just saying it's over, time to move on. So don't sometimes you don't want to fight against things that are not working well. It's just time to realize what it is and thank God that He's moving you, So you're looking for these qualities in a team member. There's spirituality, and then there's the gift to do the job, okay? What you really want is both, okay? You want the person who's godly and spiritual, and you want the gifted person. If you can only get one, you're probably going to take the spiritual person because you don't want to put the gifted, unspiritual person into a situation because that's not going to go well, most likely. Okay? But if you can get both, go for it. But then also, like, how do you recognize and identify spirituality in an individual? Okay? In my office, I got certain things that have to be done in the course of the day, okay? I get people that show up on time, do their work cheerfully and very well, are happy at the end of the day that they've done it and come back the next day. Is that spirituality? Or is spirituality someone, praise God, hallelujah, thank God, love your brother? What is the spirituality? You know what I'm saying? You tell me. What is, and in my... I think maybe Pastor Javid would attest to this, is that in my experience, the most godly spiritual people are also the most practical. You know what I'm saying? In terms of how things should be going, it's just amazing, And so you don't want to look at someone with a lot of expression, in terms of a lot of communication, Bible verses and all this great spirit. There's people like that who can communicate very well, but they don't relate well to people outside of that. So, geez, he's got a great message, he's got great insight. Yeah, but can he talk to people and can he do anything? It can be very, very different. And, I think our Bible college is very, very healthy. I'm not so close to the students. I know the ones in this room somewhat, but I know the Bible college I went to 30 years ago. It was just, we had like a wide variety of people, and I would have been voted like least likely to succeed based on how you look at these things, and other people that were like awesome, by sight are like not so awesome today. You know what I'm saying? So we want to really understand that. And I was just thinking, like what makes this church go? You know what I'm saying? Think about the people that vacuum this rug here, okay? Think about the people that make this whole thing work. We got Cody and Seb back there. Just think about the character of those people. You know what I'm saying? Think about Sebastian. Comes up, like, you ever watch him set me up here? You know, it's like no baggage, relaxed, nothing to prove, doesn't need to be thanked. I've made his job a little bit difficult by messing around with his equipment and my sweater and all that stuff. No problem, sweet about it. It took me like 6 weeks. You got to put a tie on, Pastor Taggart. Okay, I'll do that, so I can clip this thing onto. But these are the guys that make the church go. You know, Lisa working in the cafe, not praise the Lord, not all this stuff, just serving, loving, being kind and gracious, like amazing. This is what makes the church go across the property. We don't need that many people holding the microphone. You know, thank God for Pastor Charlotte, Pastor Shabelli, Pastor Love. Those guys are obviously crucial, vital. You know, we must have them. But around them, there is a whole cast of people expressing their spirituality in a behind-the-scenes different way. I mean, think about Scott Dubé. He wakes up in the morning thinking about this place in a different way. Like Pastor Charlotte wakes up thinking about, guys like you that he wants to see, be raised up, missions over here, the church. He's thinking about that stuff. But there's other people, Paul Nye, who wakes up thinking about how I can make this phone system work and save the church $10,000. I'm thinking this is like all these gifts, and again, that's those of you who missed the first course, but just to remind you, this course is to give, one of the benefits is to give you an appreciation of administrative gifts so that you recognize the need for them. If those gifts are in you, thank God and utilize them. Don't get mad at God that you're not preaching. Use them to the benefit of the church. And then if you are a preacher, pastor, whatever, recognize that these gifts are necessary. And I'd also say, even if you're a man and you are a pastor and you have administrative gifts, I don't know if you really want to be the great administrator in your church. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be careful how you use that. Is that really I'm not looking at you, but not anything. I'm just looking around, that's all. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, is it really to the church's benefit that you operate as this great administrator and great businessman, or does the church really need you before God, putting that stuff aside, finding other gifted people to handle those things, to make sure that you're hearing from God, so that you walk into that pulpit, the Spirit is speaking to the church. So this is what we're, what this hopefully one of the benefits of this course. Okay? So maybe I'm good there. Maybe we'll finish a little bit early. If anybody had a comment, you could certainly have, but if you want to get out of here, I don't want to hold you up. I know it's a long day. Okay, so we see you 3 weeks from tonight, I believe. That's the next time we'll see each other in this venue. You got a break, Eurocon break, and then exam week when I'm not going to teach on the 12th. Awesome. Okay, thanks everybody.